Season 2 is right around the corner and the meta is about to change, especially with the addition of the new Vanguard, Emma Frost. To give a little background on myself, my name's Fatal and I'm a high Celestial player who loves playing tank and DPS. So today, I'm going to break down Emma's full ability kit, give you key tips to actually get value with her, and show you some insane combos you can pull off once you master her mechanics. Let's start with the question, who is Emma Frost? In the comics, she's often portrayed as the villainous White Queen, while sometimes being depicted as a hero or anti-hero. She was once a member of the X-Men, meaning she's a mutant with the powers of telepathy, illusion projection, and even has a diamond form. And in my opinion, she now has one of the best counter-engage kits in Marvel Rivals. Emma has 2 forms and is a 3-star difficulty hero. In her base form, her left click is a psionic beam with a 15-meter range. It does okay damage, but you'll notice at the center of the screen as you continue to hit enemies, it builds charge. And if you stop hitting them, it depletes very quickly. You've seen charge meters in the game like this already with heroes like Doctor Strange and Mr. Fantastic. And when it's fully charged, that's when it does its maximum damage. Her E ability is interesting because it pulls the sentience out of the target you hit. This ability has a max range of 25 meters. Doing damage to it also damages the enemy, and when it shatters, it does a burst damage to the sentience owner. It only stays out for 5 seconds though, so if you don't shatter it before then, you won't get that burst damage. She also has a right click that puts out a 500 HP diamond shaped shield that has about a 40-meter range. This shield is a lot like Invisible Woman's shield minus the healing factor. It stays out permanently unless it's destroyed or you press F to call it back. If it is destroyed, it recharges 12 HP a second, and you can see its total health toward the left center of your screen just like you can with Doctor Strange. That's all for her base form, but what about her second form? Just like Cloak and Dagger, by pressing shift, Emma changes into her diamond form, gaining all new abilities. But this is a temporary state as it only lasts 8 seconds and has a 15-second cooldown. Before I get into the other abilities, I wanted to make a quick note. When you change into diamond form, the charge you have from your base form is pause. This is good to know because you can use it to save your charge in the middle of fights in case you can't engage right away. When you press shift, you're basically turning yourself into a melee hero and you do insane damage. Holding left click does a 4-hit combo where the last 2 hits are a little slower but do more damage. Hitting right click triggers a spinning kick that does knockback, and if the enemy hits a wall, they take even more damage, which is insane. And her E is basically a lunge grab that chokes the enemy, turns around, and slams them on the ground. This hero's abilities are absolutely insane, and it genuinely feels like you're playing a fighting game. But if you think she's broken now, wait until you see her ultimate. Yeah, not only does she have the best voice line in the game, but it's basically mind control. It's a line of sight ability, so it can be blocked by things like Doctor Strange's shield. But with a 30-meter range, it silences them so they can't use any abilities and briefly makes them walk toward you. Okay, now that we've covered the basics of her kit, we can get into the combos. But it's good to know that pretty much everything relies on her diamond form and requires the target to slam into a wall. First, we have right click, left click. This will fully kill any hero with 250 HP. For heroes with 275 HP, you have a few options. If you know there's a wall behind you, you can left click twice, E, right click, and the slam into the wall will deal the finishing damage. At full speed, it looks like this. If there's not a wall behind you, but there's one behind or near them, you can left click twice, right click, walk forward a little, and then E. The second one is going to be a little more consistent than the first because you have more control in planning where you kick them. For example, if I started the combo over here, I can still walk around them and get the kickoff in the right spot. Here's the combo at full speed. And if there's no wall nearby, you can left click twice, E, left click twice again, then right click. These should one-shot any squishies, but there are some heroes like BP and Mr. Fantastic that have much more HP. So here's something I conjured up. Well, I guess technically Boger found it first, but I got early access 2 hours after he did, and I didn't see his clip before I started looking for combos. So I don't care what anyone else says, in my mind, I invented it. But what you're gonna do is start in your base form. E, shift, E again, left click, right click, and then left click the crystal once or twice. I say to hit the crystal because realistically, with a moving target, you never know if you'll be able to hit the crystal mid combo. It's just not that consistent in a real scenario, so it's better to bank on having to destroy it to confirm the kill. Keep in mind that Mr. Fantastic has 375 HP. This combo is doing like 400 damage, you guys. This is unreal. And for the last combo, which isn't really that practical, but I think just speaks to the amount of damage she does, I'll use Groot as an example. Groot has the highest base health in the game at 850. And for this, you need to make sure that your left click is charged to 100, otherwise it won't do as much damage. The idea is to do some chip damage to get to 100 charge, go into diamond form, and then do the same combo I showed for Mr. Fantastic. I don't know, it's not that practical, but it's pretty fun playing around with it. Now, those are her combos. Strong, fun, unique, but I think Emma's real strength is going to be enabling her teammates, especially with her ult. So here are some tips and strategies that you want to keep in mind while playing her. Emma is a mid to close range hero with no mobility, so I think playing close to cover and not too out in the open is gonna be best. And I assume a main priority to playing her well is going to be keeping her charge maxed out at 100 or close to it as much as possible. You won't be able to go into diamond form all the time to get close up and personal. So by pressing shift at the right times, you'll be able to utilize your diamond form when you need it and afterwards pick back up while still doing as much damage as you can with max charge. When it comes to her E and base form, you want to try to use this to confirm kills rather than to start a fight. For example, if you see a teammate getting an enemy low and you're close enough, you can easily help out even if you aren't at max charge and finish them off. You need to be careful though. If the enemy travels further than 25 meters from it, it'll disappear. Shield management for her is going to be extremely important too. Using it mid-combat to isolate fights is going to be really effective, and in certain situations, even using it to block ultimates or even using it like a Groot wall to block off heals. Now for her diamond form, here's some insane tech you need to know. The first thing is that she takes decreased damage, and because of this, she can survive Scarlet Witch ult and even Iron Man ult as long as it's not a direct impact. By the way, she can grab flyers by jumping and using her E, pulling them down to the ground, which is insane. She's also completely immune to CC in this form. Groot ult doesn't capture her. The Thing ult, not even phased. Strange can't ult her, Mantis can't sleep her, she's even immune against her own ultimate. You can also disrupt most ultimates by grabbing them. It works just like any other CC ability in the game, where if you get it with the right timing on the right character, you can completely stop their ultimate. Something really cool is that Wolverine's ultimate, which has some CC, can knock her up in diamond form. Canonically, Wolverine's skeleton is made of adamantium, which is strong enough to cut diamond, so that's a nice little Easter egg for us there. The last thing I wanted to touch on as a tip is for her ultimate. It's pretty self-explanatory how it works, but one thing I found out, which is crazy, is that it pulls Star-Lord out of his ultimate. I don't think it's as practical with most other characters' ults, but it could help save your supports and ultimate for other counterplay. Now, it's clear that she's pretty good at playing around her own kit, but what about her team play? Well, aside from maybe grabbing and kicking people into your team, a large part of her team play is going to come from her team ups and ult combinations. This season, Emma's team up is with Magneto and Psylocke, and it lets them both create copies of themselves that move and shoot at the same time you do. It's pretty insane, and from the enemy's perspective, it's actually really hard to tell which one's real. A cool little mechanic that's been discovered too is that if you use the team up and then ult, the clones of Mag and Psylocke still go around attacking other people. For ult synergy though, pretty much anything that has good AoE will combo well with Emma Frost. For example, let's say the enemy team has no support ults and you catch one of their main tanks like Strange or Mag lacking. If you ult the tanks first, they have no way of blocking your ultimate from the backline. So this allows, say, your own Doctor Strange to freely walk in and ult the whole team. Other examples off the top of my head that could work well are Moon Knight, Mag, Wanda, and the Thing. Her ultimate is going to be crazy when it comes to enabling your teammates' ults. I seriously can't wait to see what people cook up. Emma Frost brings an incredible amount of depth and potential to Marvel Rivals, and I genuinely believe she could shake up the meta if you master her kit. But I want to know your thoughts. What combo did you find the most satisfying, or which hero are you most excited to pair with her? Let me know down in the comments, and if this guide helped you out, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Marvel Rivals content. Keep climbing, and I'll see you next time.